From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time once again for The Horse's Mouth here on BluHorn TV. Of course, we're back at Tommy Mac's place, and we're talking marketing once again. We have insurance company here. We have a staffing company, media buyers, all here at the bar. Great to have you gentlemen on the show. Thanks for coming. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great to have you. All right, so I'm going to turn the tables on you. Instead of talking about what works for your business, what works for you as a consumer? I'm going to start with you. What works for you as a consumer? What's your best way to get your media from a consumer standpoint?
On the phone. You know, you got your Facebook, your Twitter.
Yep.
You got your favorite news source has their app on there, and that's kind of the best way to cut through a lot of the chatter, I think.
Is that specific just for you, Mike, or because you're in the insurance business, or what do you think about that?
We're busy, so efficiency is important. You know, it's easy to get it through the phone, and you know, global things impact our business, so it's good to know what's going on out there in the world.
Absolutely, Andy, you're in the staffing business. How about yourself? How do you consume media?
I guess for me, because I do it all day with social media and getting our message out there, I kind of hate doing it when I get home. So I kind of gravitate more toward niche things like Reddit. I actually find more news and things on Reddit because I can subscribe to things I'm very interested in.
Right.
And it kind of cuts through all the clutter.
And you guys, you're buying media. You're helping companies figure out how to market their business. How do you consume it, Mike?
I am a Twitter consumer, but I've never tweeted before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I subscribe to the feeds. I think it's the fact that it's quick, it's easy, but it's started to become an addiction that my wife constantly yells at me to put it down. But ultimately, there's so much data that comes in, but I don't have the time to stop, watch TV, always on the run. So
I love Twitter. I'm the same. I post, but I also like reading what other people are saying out there, you know, whether it's news or whether it's sports or whatever it may be.
That's actually the best part, is reading people's comments.
Oh, yeah.
Just the craziness to realize. I guess there are stupid comments and stupid people, but it's insane how people can hide behind the app.
Oh, they do, yeah. They hide behind the keyboard, no doubt. Joe, how about you?
You know, I'm kind of old school. LinkedIn's the only thing that I do on the social platforms. Nothing against it, just nothing for it, really. Local news, I do watch that. I've got satellite radio in my car.
Okay.
Terrestrial radio as well. So, that's kind of how I do it. I've got an iPad. So some, digital gets through as well. But usually I know what I want. It's more of a searching thing on my end. Looking at reviews, looking at things like that online.
Radio seems to always be there, right? Print kind of, it depends what you're looking for and what you're into. But radio's always there, whether it's news, WOKV here locally, whether it's sports, 1010XL, the other ones. But how about you? Do you still listen to the radio?
Yeah, I mean, Friday night football games, you can't get that on satellite radio, kind of the feel of a local high school football game. You can't replace that. Or baseball games on the radio. Some people, I think, maybe think they're boring, but it's unbelievable.
Do you listen to local high school games on the radio?
Yeah, that's cool. It kind of takes you in the moment. If you played high school football, or you were there in the moment, you can kind of take it back, and it's not so heavy. It's kind of nice.
That's awesome.
You're almost unplugged, even though you're.
I have never heard someone say that before, so I was just kind of in shock.
Well, the baseball on the radio threw me off because it's slow watching on TV, but listening on the radio, you got to get creative.
Yeah, you got a long drive, and you kind of picture it, and it feels like a older time. Things are so serious.
How about you, Andy? You still listen to the radio?
I do, and what I found recently is through Apple Music, based on what I listen to, what my habits are, they put together radio stations specifically with other bands I might like.
Right.
And so I just find that very interesting that they can use the analytics in the back end and give me stuff that I want to listen to.
Yeah, no doubt. I like listening to the radio, but I don't have the... I'd love to go back and hear what they say sometimes, like rewind it in the middle of the broadcast. Wait a minute, I missed that. Well, let me see what they said there. But hopefully, do they have that today? I don't know if they have that today.
Well, and that's what the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast, right? Yeah, the podcasts are big.
Yeah. That's a good question. As Ken Brady was in here a couple weeks ago, but as he says with radio, I've tended to. I do listen to traditional radio still. But it's really news and sports. And that's where I think the way consumers, whether they actively take part in listening to the radio stations, I think the way you advertise on the radio has changed drastically over the past couple of years. But I still listen to like a WOKV driving into work, looking for the local news. what's happening here in Jacksonville.
Well, you think about radio, and you were a media buyer for St. John's Partners for a long time. Those live endorsements, I used to be in radio. Those were the ones that I sold the most on. Not the block of commercials I'm going to sell you, but me being live on the air. Hey, let me remind you about such and such restaurant or such and such business. I go there. I use them. So should you. I think that is a huge part of radio advertising.
I agree. It's a great association, especially if you see that personality out and about different places.
Right.
You can combine that with what you heard on the whatever that broadcast was. You combine that with what you hear for the particular client that bought that. So it's the repetition, it's the frequency that you're looking.
What is the most interesting endorsement you ever did?
Oh, interesting in what kind of way? Like, I didn't do the Gold Club, if you want to ask me that. That was not.
Patron, but not endorser.
That's right. I don't go there, but you should. No. I always liked the auto dealers. They were always fun. Restaurants, ones that I like to frequent, because I always I'm not a liar. I can't just sell you on something. I want to be able to tell you from actual experience that, hey, you know what? You should really try it, right? Whatever it may be. Go out and try it, give it a chance, whether it's, place to eat, a place to shop, place to hang out. I'm always kind of an open book in that kind of way. But
is there a product that you look at today and you would love to endorse when you look at it and say, I'm a huge fan of that?
Well, I endorse. I'm a partner in a CBD oil company, so I endorse that quite a bit. It works for me. It works for my family. We love it. We take it every day and use it every day. So those are easy, though. Those are easy ones to endorse because you use it and you like it. If I got to go out there and sell you on some restaurant where the food stinks and the service is even worse, it's not going to come across good coming from me.
Do endorsements work for you guys? Like if you take someone who's a celebrity or has been celebrity up there, I say that not present company.
No, not at all.
Does it help sell you through?
I mean, not really, because I think he's kind of the exception. I know that if I see somebody on there talking about a service, that it's like, okay, I know there's a monetary exchange right there. So I think it's got a little bit less credibility for me personally. But you can definitely tell when the people have used it too.
Right.
Like I sold radio a long time ago, and there was like this weight loss thing where they would literally give it to the DJs, and they went through this horrendous weight loss challenge for 60 days.
Right.
So they could talk about it at every third break or whatever, and it was brutal, but they lost weight on it. So.
Yep.
It worked, and they're smiling through the whole time, but off air they're like, I cannot drink another shake.
60 days later, it's all right back.
I cannot drink any more
Is it hard to quantify those, like as your return on investment? Like so, some popular sports show host endorses a product. How do you endorses your business, for example?
Yeah.
How do you quantify that from a return on that investment?
I don't know. It's tough because I know it's a big spend. Yeah, like you'd have to tie it to how often our phone rings. So we're in a weird business where we don't advertise at all.
Right.
Our competitors do, and you certainly see the carriers we represent at every golf tournament. They're on blimps. They've got all kinds of stuff. We don't spend any money on advertising.
Okay.
So we're in a strange business. So for us,
Get off this show.
We network. No, we network a lot.
BluHorn doesn't like you people.
But it's probably an opportunity because we should, and we're of the same size. We just don't. We're just a different philosophy, I guess.
What's the best return on investment that you've used, Andy, as far as marketing, advertising?
Really, for me, it comes down to Google. I mean, I'm a believer in that because it's the difference between interruption marketing and targeted marketing. So when you're watching your favorite show and a commercial comes out and it's like, buy my product, buy it now.
Right.
Versus, I'm going to go look for specifically what I want on my computer and targeting those people with ads.
Okay.
So I found that hand over hand, that's the hands down.
How about reviews? Do you guys look at reviews a lot? Mm-hmm. Like what people are saying about, whether it's a destination or what?
It's hard to trust a lot of the reviews. Being in advertising and knowing the businesses that do it, but there's a lot of credibility that goes into it. So I do glance at reviews when buying a product, but I dismiss so many of them knowing if you have the same negative review over and over and over, there's a problem.
Sure.
Right.
But it's how often do people just go say nice things about others?
Right.
In the environment.
Well, you don't know their intention, right? You don't know if they have an agenda or something like that.
And kind of going back to the endorsements, helped grow the Zaxby's brand for 10 and a half years. And if you remember back in the early days of 2005, 6 through about 11, with all the celebrity endorsements they had, I mean, there's probably over 25 from Vander Holyfield to...
You had that cow,
Tebow.
right?
Didn't Tebow?
Tebow
What a
never
jerk.
endorsed, but we
I thought he
get some
did.
pictures
Okay.
of him at
Yeah.
an event and stuff. But everything from, one of the original guys was Lorenzo Lamas. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
again,
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in that, even in that time, people recognized him as maybe a C or a D celebrity actor.
Yeah.
But the more that brand grew, the more those celebrities started growing. Mike Ditka, I mean, a number of
Ditka, love him.
Actually, I'm
Best.
curious. Wait.
Stories about
C,
Love Dick.
all right.
Yeah,
C or D, celebrity actor. All right. So who would you consider a C and a D?
Like
Lorenzo Lamas.
All right. Now, all right. What would you consider you are, and what were you? So where are we right now?
C minus. C minus. I'm comfortable in that.
No, B,
I'm comfortable
you're
in
a
that.
great bartender, so I'd give you a B plus.
That's right. Thank
Working
you.
for an A.
There you go. You bring up the cow with Chick-fil-A. What about that kind of, whether it's a jingle on the radio or you see, the cow commercial, whatever, eat more chicken, whatever. Does that really grab your attention and make you gravitate towards that business?
Well, it's different. I think that's attractive and interesting. Remember when Domino's admitted their pizza was terrible? Like, yeah, our pizza is garbage.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so what are you going to do about that? And then they're like, well, we made it better. And so I ordered pizza.
Right.
From people who said their pizza was terrible.
We like Chick-fil-A because their food is fantastic and the way they cook it is
And it's
better
their
for
pleasure.
you.
Everything's
But I
their
don't
pleasure.
pay attention to the. When I see
It's
the
that
commercial, I'm
mouse
like, "Oh,
cage
it's kinda
that draws
cute,"
the kids on the inside. They
Yeah,
don't
right,
go for
right.
the food. They go because they want to play. The food just happens to be great.
Food is really good. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Are they a sponsor?
What? Not yet. Get on it. They should be.
Chick-fil-A food is great.
There you go.
That can backfire sometimes too. If you guys remember, it was less than 10 years ago, Quiznos had this ad with these rats that were singing this little jingle they had. And so the first thing you think is
Rats
rats
in
in a
my
restaurant.
food, right.
Exactly. And it was just horrible for them.
And
So,
Subway
Well,
with the endorser.
yeah.
Yep.
Gotta watch out for those endorsers.
Eat
sometimes.
fresh.
yeah.
No, Eat Fresh stands out. When you
Background
go
checks.
to you go in the Subway. When that Subway Eat Fresh.
And Subway before that had the guy that got arrested. So if you tie
Oh,
your
right,
brand
Jared.
to a
Oh,
Creepy Jared.
grade D celebrity or anybody, you're
Right.
now putting your brand in the hands of somebody that you can't control.
Sure.
So
Right.
companies started moving away from the celebrity endorsements just because of being
When you look
able
at
to
Papa John's, I mean, the
Right.
damages
It's been
been
a-
that brand,
Yep.
and then Elon Musk tanked their stock for a couple
Yep.
weeks with.
Shaq took over for the Papa
Yeah.
John, so that
Yeah.
helped. I got a picture of Papa John at the Super Bowl. He had eyeliner
I was
on,
gonna say,
like
was he wrecked?
built-in eyeliner on his. I was like, What is wrong with you?
If you've been up for 3 days.
Eyeliner, I
it's
guess so. I guess so. But Shaq came in and saved it. All right, guys, that was a great
Cheers,
conversation.
cheers.
Thanks for coming on board. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here at Tommy Max. That'll do it for us this time around on The Horse's Mouth right here on BluHorn TV. Until next time, make sure you stay cool out there and be safe. We'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth on BluHorn TV.